So in this section, I'm going to be talking about advanced subtitling features, and it's going to be quite a loose sort of section because really this is one area where I can't even begin to guess what people might need. You can obviously be very, very creative when it comes to subtitles, and Shotcut is actually fairly powerful. It's a fairly powerful tool for adding subtitles when you start to play around with it. So I'm not going to necessarily be showing any individual way of doing things. I'm just going to show you some of the things that you can do, and then you can apply those tips and tricks as you need them, and obviously they can be combined, and yeah, there's just so much to play around with here. So what can we do? Well, one of the tricks that I've found is that you can actually add two text filters, which seems like a very basic trick, and let's just apply the same settings to the second text filter, this new text filter that I did to the first one. Where's my... oh no, I've scrolled past it, haven't I? Where's my font? My beloved Seago UI black. There we go. And we'll put that in 32, and tick that box is already ticked, and then we'll do the thickness. And you could, for example, you could move that one to the top of the screen, and obviously that has all sorts of possibilities. You could, for example, have one speaker at the top of the screen, you could have another speaker at the bottom of the screen. You could, if you wanted to, with this new text filter here, this new set of subtitles, you could do it in a different font. You could do it in two different colors. I mean, I haven't talked about colors yet, but if you click on this box here, you can actually change the color of your subtitles. Obviously, you have to be careful to choose a color that's going to stand out against the background, but for example, I could make the... no, that doesn't look very good, does it? What could I use? Could I use blue? No, none of them really stand out well against this background. But, you know, just to highlight that point, yeah, you can fiddle around and you can use these two text filters and combine them in different ways. For example, one thing that you might want to do, so I've already talked about how you can move. You can have these three basic positions, and you can also do the same with the horizontal, so you can have left, center, right, or top, middle, or bottom. But actually you can be considerably more flexible in where you place your subtitles in Shotcut. So, for example, if I go back to that one with the so this is the one with the So let's say that I did want to give each speaker... oops, I need to click on this one, don't I? Let's say that I did want to give each speaker their own set of subtitles. How could I do that? Well, once again, I would go down to text here. Once again, do the same settings. Use font size. UI black, 32. Okay, and I'll just put some sample text in place here. Oh, I need to do the thickness on the... so, for example, let's say that I don't even need sample text because I know what Charles is saying. So let's say that I wanted to have Charles's subtitle, give Charles his own set of subtitles and the interviewer his own set of subtitles. So I'll take away Charles's response here. Okay, and as I said, you can be quite flexible in where you place things within Shotcut. So for example, you could, so I'm currently, you have to find a way of keeping these two, you have to make sure you're on the right set. But if you see this dot in the middle here, you can actually drag your subtitles around. So you could do something like this. So if I wanted to add these to the speaker, and I'd probably want to center left, something like that. Keep moving there, and I could, with Charles's, I could grab his and put his up there, and so each speaker could have their own set of subtitles, which actually hangs around on their part of the screen. So that's one thing that you could do. And of course, again, this can also be combined with other tips and tricks. So for example, you could give Charles his own color. Yeah, but again, the red doesn't stand out very well. So yeah, that's one thing that you can do, and you can use this dot to move the subtitles around, or you can use these. You can do it numerically here. You can use these coordinate style things down here, but I prefer just to use the dot because it's so much more intuitive and so much more straightforward. So that's one thing that you can do with two sets of subtitles, and I think that's pretty much everything that I would want to talk about as far as using the two the two text filters, and obviously you can add more text filters if you have multi-party interaction. Let's say you had an interaction where there were people arranged on screen. You could, let's say you had 3 people sitting around a table or something, and one person was here, one person was here, one person was here. You could add 3 text filters and position them all on screen and give each person their own set of subtitles. It just go wild. There are so many different settings down here. Obviously, the more you do, the fiddlier it becomes, and for practical purposes, I think a lot of the time just the basic verbatim form that I showed in the previous section will be enough, but the options are there.